Look, when it comes to foreign policy, I'm a firm believer in Lord Palmerston's quote that when it comes to foreign interests, there's no permanent friends or allies, just permanent interests. And if you're uh, the reality is that yes, historically there was a lot of tensions between Russia and China, but that seems to have abated in the past decade or so. Uh, there's always been great friendship between India and Russia, so that's not an issue. And there's always been a lot of tensions between China and India. Unsettled borders, uh, problem with China supporting Pakistan. Um, problem with China's invasion of Tibet, like lots of contentious points. Having said that, going back to this notion of permanent interests, and the hug that we saw in Tianjin between Modi, Xi, and Putin, literally holding hands and singing "Kumbaya" together. The reality is, if you unite these three economies, you have the making of a boom of absolutely epic proportions. You know, Russia today is the world's cheapest producer of commodities. China has the cheapest cost of capital and will likely continue to have it for the next 10 to 20 years. Produces very competitive consumer goods and produces extremely attractively priced capital goods. In fact, more attractively priced than anywhere else. So you put these three things together, and India has the cheapest cost of labor. So you put the cheap labor with the cheap commodities, the cheap capital goods, and the cheap cost of capital, and you've got the making of a boom of absolutely epic proportions. And the reality is that if you're Russia, if you're China, if you're India, what are you, this is one offer on the table. Um, let's do more stuff together and grow together and benefit together. That's one option. What's the other option on the table? Going back to the idea of permanent interests. If you got that offer, what are the other offers? It's not obvious to me that there's any other one. So, you know, to the extent that policymakers need to deliver growth, to deliver good economic outcomes, to deliver political stability, to deliver wealth for their countries, to the extent that this is what policymakers want, that one seems so obvious. And now that they're talking and embracing and cutting deals and doing all these things, um, now that the train is essentially leaving the station, um, I, who's going to say, which one of the three is going to say, you know what, guys, I don't want to be on this train. I'm off. Uh, I want to get off this train because I've got something better to do elsewhere. Does that make sense? It doesn't to me.